Hello, my name is Cody, and I'm the director of the events department at OpenWater, and today I'm going to do an overview of our event cloud covering in-person, hybrid, and virtual conferences. What is Event Cloud? The way that we are going to go through this presentation is kind of breaking down what workflow and what style of conference we're going to have. Generally, there are three styles of conferences. There's an in-person event, which is where all attendees will be live, each generally at a convention center or possibly a hotel. Hybrid events, which bridge the gap between virtual and in-person, and are becoming very popular as of recently, which allows you to have an in-person event but still have a virtual component for those attendees that aren't able to attend your meeting, which gives you an added benefit of increased revenue, as well as making sure that you have more attendees from your organization for each meeting. And then last, we have virtual events, which over the last year and a half have been very popular and give you the ability to run your entire conference online if there is a situation in which your current event can't be held in person. Some of the advantages of using OpenWater for your in-person event includes conference management, which is where we help you collect your abstract sessions, schedule them, and present that information to your attendees. Our mobile application, which allows on-site attendees to access the schedule, chat, and other functionalities. And then conference support, where we have reps on standby to help assist you in your conference, both pre-conference, during the live event, and post-conference as well. Our hybrid events allow you to merge on-site and online events. This gives you the ability to connect your attendees across both on-site and in-person, as well as connecting your exhibitors. We also offer support that is on-site to assist with making sure that everybody is connected as well. And then our virtual events, which are the events that are held exclusively online. These have been really big lately and have given us the opportunity to create a product that works really well for a virtual event. You'll be able to create your sessions, agendas, and display your sponsors on your OpenWater microsite, as well as being powered by Zoom, and all the added benefits of Zoom, such as polling, and then our conference support as well, which will be our online support team to assist on live support, as well as the ability to have speaker training as well. So now that we've gone through what type of events there are, we're going to go into what are the event cloud options. How are we going to get the data from our speakers or presenters into our system and allow them to present that information during the live sessions? Within OpenWater, there are a couple ways to do this. The first is going to be our full cycle collection. This is going to allow the admin to create a submission form, whether it's simply for abstracts or abstracts and sessions within OpenWater, and have the speakers or presenters submit that information themselves. This is typically done if we are at the beginning of a conference cycle and have the ability to create all of this. There may be a time constraint that doesn't allow you to do that. You may have another system that you want to integrate with that where your session data currently is. We do offer the ability to skip the first couple steps of collection and go straight to a data import. With a data import, you would provide a CSV, and we would import that file into OpenWater to allow your data to be in there, and then we can do things such as schedule it as well. Additionally, OpenWater is proud to announce our OpenWater mobile app introduction, and it is a standalone product which allows you to use either your existing software to data import into, or you can connect it to OpenWater and use that data to manage the information that's within your application. Once we've decided how we're going to collect that, we're going to go through what the Event Cloud process is. As we go through this, you'll see here we have what types they're for. So our full cycle actually starts at the beginning, and it starts with collecting data. And we'll go into this a little bit more in detail as we go through these slides. So I'm just going to go through the steps. So we collect our data. Once all of the data has been collected, we're going to go into a review cycle. This can either be done by your chairs, reviewers, judges, depending on what your organization uses. This allows them through our module to review and assess whether the abstracts or sessions are fit for your conference, as well as giving them scores or ratings as well. Once everything has been reviewed, we're going to move on to building sessions. And this is not always the case. If you have just simple applications, say, for instance, you would have a session and you have 3 papers that are in it, and we're going to just have everything in one submission form, we wouldn't necessarily need to build sessions. Now, if you're needing to put 5 or 6 sessions in, or 5 or 6 abstracts into a session, this is a good option for you, as it allows you to easily assign individual abstracts to the sessions. As you'll see, this is where we start getting into the more functionality. So we go from full cycle to full cycle and data import. And so this is where we would import your data into this step. Next, we're going to need to schedule our sessions. Once everything is in the system, our sessions are set up, we're going to go ahead and use OpenWater's easy scheduling tool, where we set our rooms, dates, and times, and simply drag and drop our sessions or our abstracts directly onto the scheduler. As you'll see with this one, this is where the mobile application comes into play as well. If you choose to add the mobile app to your contract, this is where we would set that up for you as well. Once everything's scheduled, everything's set, we're going to go ahead and push our data to the mobile app. And then after everything is set up, we're going to have our live conference. And that's going to be the main event. That's going to be when we go live, we have our live speakers, and basically the days of the conference itself. Now we're going to go over collecting data. So in OpenWater, we have our form builder, and our form builder allows us to select a wide selection of field types. We have such as multi-line text, checkboxes, phone numbers, addresses, etc. We also have the ability to have answer-dependent subfields. So say, for instance, you have a question that says, "Are you a member?" You can additionally have a field under that that allows them to select and enter their member number if they select yes, they are a member. We also have the ability to have category-specific questions, which allows you to have specific categories. Say, for instance, you're going to break up your sessions into plenary and roundtable may have presenters, but the plenary will have speakers. This is the area where you would be able to do that and say these fields are only for this type of session. Once that's done, you'll be presented with a submission form. So if you are collecting data, you'll have a front-facing submission form that users are able to access and submit their abstracts or sessions. Once they've submitted, they'll get a confirmation email, as well as the ability to have submission rounds. The advantage here with submission rounds is that it's very typical in a conference that we would want to collect the basic information. For instance, in this scenario, we have our title, session style, category, short description, and session description, and that may be all we need for our initial round of judging to see if we want to allow this abstract through or not. If that's the case, we can actually break it up so that once it's approved, we can create another submission form for them to submit either authors or the media to that submission form. Here's a couple of examples of submission forms that we have that are kind of pre-formed in the system. That's going to be our live session collection, our on-demand session collection, poster collection, speaker collection, asset collection, such as adding videos or PDFs, and our sponsor exhibitor collection, which we'll go through in a couple slides. Additionally, we can assist you with setting up forms if these templates do not fit your needs at this time. And then now we're going to go over reviewing submissions, and this is what we were discussing. So everything's been submitted, and now we need to review our sessions. So from the back end, as an admin, you have the ability to add a wide selection of question types, such as number scale, multiple choice, or collecting comments. You can choose what data from the submission is visible to the judges. Say, for instance, you need to do a blind judging. You have the ability to blind those certain fields from the judges themselves. And then you can also do review assignments. If you have teams of judges that you need to automatically create an assignment rule for, or you need a way to bulk assign submissions for review, our tool for automated review assignments makes that very simple with conditioning and the ability to select which judges are part of that assignment. From the front end, when a judge logs in, they'll be able to see the application on the left, the judging on the right. They'll have the ability to either review by category or review all applications. This is very useful in cases in which you want your judges to review your plenaries different than your roundtables. It allows them to break that down in a way that they can go in for those specific items and review them. Additionally, there is the ability to run reports on all of the judging, as well as an area within the OpenWater software that allows you to go ahead and see what those results are ahead of time and kind of keep track of how judging is handling itself as you go through this process. Next, we're going to go over building sessions. And this is going to be the area that we talked about earlier that may not be necessary for your particular conference, but if your conference is one that needs the ability to have a container for multiple abstracts, this is going to be one of those important tools that we have. On the back end, you have the ability to create a submission form very similar to the way you create a submission form, but you also are allowed to create session types. And those are very useful for breaking up the data and assigning to the schedule and seeing what specific items there are, as well as setting conditions. So for instance, once you've created your session submission form, you can actually allow your submitters to self-assign submissions, and you can set the conditions for what abstracts show up for them as well. Additionally, we have a session chair view that you can manage that allows that session chairs to actually log in and manage their sessions. Otherwise, it would just be them submitting their sessions, and then they would be admin managed from that point forward. From the front end, you'll see that our session form on the front end allows them to fill out their data. They have this information, which is their session data, but they'll also have an agenda tab, which will allow them to set up their individual session and assign abstracts as well. You can also set the restrictions for what they see, and there's the ability to add extra data here if we need to leave notes to our session chairs as well. Once we've done that, we're going to go into scheduling sessions. And this is going to allow us to create our rooms, our times, our dates, and schedule our sessions directly onto the schedule so we can make sure that everything is not only scheduled, but that there aren't any conflicts at that time as well. So on the back end, you'll see we'll get to select our date, time, rooms, and time slots. And once those are set up, you'll have a scheduling grid similar to this that will allow you to click to assign, drop into the specific time slot, and see. So for instance, you'll see this red block here is telling us that nothing can be scheduled here because it would create a conflict with this room. You can also add auxiliary items to the schedule, as well as if you need to move a session, you can click on it and reschedule it to another time slot or room as well. For mobile app, we're going to go over a short overview of what's included in the app. And so with the mobile app, you'll get a branded application for Android and iOS, and these will be available in the Play Store as well as the App Store on iOS. A session gallery, which allows the attendees to see a comprehensive schedule, as well as accessing sessions, chat with other attendees, and other features that are available, as well as an attendee directory, which allows other people to connect with other attendees at the conference at that time. The mobile app also includes industry-leading engagement features such as maps, surveys, live polls, social feeds, push notifications, the session gallery itself, as well as being easy to build and manage, which most of that is going to be done with our automatic partnership with Guidebook, but you will have the ability to customize as well. And then we're going to get into our live conference. So this is what the items that occur for the event itself. First, we have our homepage. We have the ability to have a custom navigation. So on the top here, you'll see that there are navigation items. By default, we will include some, but there are cases in which you would need to link out to, say, for instance, your organization's website or bylaws or something else to that extent. We can add those as well, and your representative will be able to work with you to figure out what exact items we want to put on there. There's custom content. So by default on our template, we allow you to add a header, a video, some content, and then typically a brief schedule, as well as having that schedule linked directly to those sessions. Next, we have auxiliary pages. So in this case, we have our integrated help pages. These are pages that we've created based on our experience with our software as well as other conferences, and addresses the pain points that we typically see during the live event. And so we have those help pages, but we also have the ability for our admins to create custom content. Those content pages can include text, video, and images as well. Next, we have our poster gallery. Our poster gallery allows us to collect poster data as well as display it. So users can submit their posters to showcase at your conference. We also allow the ability to have PDFs or a video. There are some cases with poster galleries where we would want an introduction video if they're not going to be scheduled for an actual poster session. This would be one of those instances in which that would be beneficial. And we can also link our posters back to a session. If there are posters that didn't quite make a session but still need to be associated with it, we have the ability to backlink those posters as well. Next, we're going to go over exhibitors and sponsors and how they can create their booths. With our exhibitors and sponsors, you can set up and collect their information through our form. This will allow you to create a submission form that works for the exhibitors, make sure all the information is there. Although we do have a template that we do recommend using, we can add additional fields if needed. The attendee display for that exhibitor booth is going to give the exhibitors the ability to display information such as their chat schedule, links to their website, as well as resources in a video. And then once the conference is done, you have the ability to download reports to see what specific attendees went to which exhibitors booths. Now we're going to get into add-ons and upgrades, and right now we're going to start in the pre-event category, and so these are going to be the items that we're going to assist you in getting to the beginning of your event. The first one is our project management, and this is included in for every client. This gives us the ability to manage your project as well as display that information to you so you know where in the process we are, what information we might need, as well as deadlines. Say for instance we're doing a data import and we need the data by a certain deadline, you'll be able to see that in here to know that we do need it by that time and keep track of whether we've received that or not. Additionally, you will start your event with OpenWater. You will have an account manager, a project manager, and implementation specialist. So you will have 3 people that are there for your company and organization to make sure that everything is being taken care of and completed on time. Next, we're going to go over our virtual badge system. And this is to be used in instances where either A, we're collecting registrations within OpenWater, or B, you have already collected your registrations and simply need to import those restrictions in OpenWater. Our virtual badge system will take care of that. We create a Google Sheet that is used to create permissions, and then it gives us a very simple sign-in process for our attendees. It's going to allow them to enter their email address. They'll sign in by receiving that email, which will have a link that automatically logs them into your conference. Next, we have our single sign-on. So if you have an AMS such as IMIS, MemberSuite, MemberClicks, or your membership, as well as many others, we can create an integration with that AMS to allow your users to log in and pass their restrictions into OpenWater, as well as mapping fields from your AMS directly into OpenWater as well. Say for instance, when people log in, we want to capture their address or other information in OpenWater. We can do that through our single sign-on integration as well. Additionally, if you are collecting payments for registration or maybe from your exhibitors, we do have payment gateway integrations such as Stripe, Authorize.net, as well as many others. And this allows you to enter your API keys for those particular programs and quickly connect to your gateway to allow you to process payments through OpenWater. OpenWater itself does not process payments, but we can integrate with your gateway to allow you to collect those payments through OpenWater. Next, we're going to talk about live event add-ons. The first one is going to be our networking and chat. This add-on allows you to create a chat area as well as channels and private chat, as well as smaller video chats for your attendees to use. We generally also add exhibitors to this to allow people to communicate with their exhibitors as well. After that, we have our hello bar, which allows us to add pop-up and push notifications to your microsite. And this will be set up through us. We'll help you set it up, and will allow you to create a pop-up either in the bottom right, a full page pop-up, or push notifications to your users as well if it's installed on your particular microsite. Next, we have our live support. The live support we have found to be very useful. It allows us to have staff on hand dedicated to your conference so that they can address any needs that come up from your attendees, speakers, exhibitors, or the admins themselves, as well as providing a much quicker turnaround time on any issues that may arise, such as a attendee whose browser doesn't allow them to log in. The live support would be able to walk through that with them in a very quick manner to make sure that they're in the conference and in the particular session that they need to be at that time. Additionally, we have hybrid AV support. This is going to be if you need on-site support to set up cameras and make sure that the people who are online have the same experience as the people who are in person, or a comparable experience, and allows us to have our technicians on the ground as well as possible remote support to make sure that if somebody is presenting remotely or is presenting on site, to make sure that that crossover is able to happen, where we display that information from somebody who is remote, or we're broadcasting the information from somebody on site to those who are attending our virtual component of our hybrid conference. After that, we have our add-ons and upgrades for post-event. And this is going to be our data and reports. This is how we preserve the historical data that is produced from our conference. This can be things such as gallery view reports, general reporting. Additionally, we have the ability, if you have Google Analytics, if you send us your tag, we can add it, which will give you more comprehensive reporting as well. In addition to our reporting, this does not replace it. So you would still have our reporting for gallery views, video views, etc. The video views is one of the most beneficial if you have continuing education credits, as it allows you to run a report and see who actually viewed videos, as well as running a report on people who have attended the Zoom session directly, because we get that data directly from Zoom, and allows you to see if the people who were supposed to view that session for their CE credits actually attended and how long they attended. And that's going to wrap up our overview of OpenWater Event Cloud. If you have any questions, you'll be able to ask them at this time. Thank you.